We want to make sure there's a level playing field for all who are involved. The organic survey found that 74% of sales are local or regional, that is to say within 100 or 500 miles of the producer. Although much of this has to do with processors, millers, and packers, over 10% of those sales were direct-to-retail operations, including supermarkets. And 7% of sales were direct to consumers, via farm stands, farmers markets, community support agriculture, and other arrangements. But these differences are widely different depending upon the region of the country. In Vermont, direct-to-market and direct-to-consumer sales make up more than 20% of the total organic market, while in Colorado, it's 45%. We know that local and regional food systems are an important driver of economic opportunity in rural communities, and we want to expand them. The organic sector plays an important role in developing and supporting local and regional food systems, and a top priority of mine and the Deputy Secretary's is the Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food initiative. We believe the Northeast is the vanguard in many of these efforts. Right here in Vermont, the town of Hardwick is a tremendous example of regional food economy in action. Pete's Greens and Vermont Milk Company are just two examples of companies doing good work. And USDA was able to help both of these operations with loans and grants to get them to where they are today. One element of Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food is to work as a coordinating effort across the United States so that people learn more about the opportunities, the funding opportunities, and supports that may be available to them. Did you know, for example, that 5% of our Rural Business and Industry Loan Program is designed to go to promote local and regional food systems? Now, 5% of $900 million is a significant amount of money. The Federal State Market Improvement Program supports local and regional food systems. This year, for example, the state of Massachusetts got an award to investigate the use of mobile flash freeze processing as a way to help local and regional food systems, while Maine got a grant to develop a centralized wholesale distribution system for locally grown products. We're proposing to nearly double the fundings for this program with an increase of $1.3 million in 2011. The Farmers Market Promotion Program is a great tool for connecting farmers with consumers and boosting sales. This year, thanks in large part to the work of this congressional delegation, the Farm Bill provides $5 million for this program. In 2011, this amount will double to $10 million. We're employing tactical teams of employees working full-time on developing farm-to-school opportunities. We're sending them out to schools across the country to ask them to look at what is being produced in their local area and to try to determine how they can link what is being produced in their local area to what school children can consume. And in the longer term, I know that Deputy Secretary Merrigan has spoken to the Commissioners of Agriculture of each of the states represented here about coming together to form and to develop the Northeast Corridor as a regional food system. And last fall, we funded a consortium of universities and groups to work on developing a regional food system plan in the Northeast Corridor. As a result of that plan, we're asking, and this is where I make the request of these three individuals, so if you mind if I just turn and talk to them, that in the fiscal year 2011 budget, we propose the creation of a regional initiative here in the Northeast to coordinate the funding of $280 million for regional pilot projects. We hope you support that regional initiative. You have an important role to play, and I know it should be recognized that there is an important connection between what you produce and what local and regional food systems need and what consumers want. We believe that our efforts to improve regulation, to build new food systems will play a role in continuing to drive consumer demand and the expansion of the organic industry. We're working to remind USDA that organics are not just housed in AMS, but the National Organic Program, but that organic is part of the mission of all agencies within the department, and we're working to make this a reality. AMS needs to expand its market reporting on organic, which is why we're requesting an increase in funding for data collection. Insurance is something organic farmers have wanted for years. It's been difficult to develop the tool, but we're committed to do so, and we expect to have something very soon in this area. The NRCS has committed $50 million for the 2010 Organic Initiative through the Environmental Quality Incentives Program, EQIP. These funds can be used for folks just starting an organic production facility in operation, as well as those looking to transition additional acres or animals, or who want to adopt additional conservation measures. FAS will help with trade negotiations. Last year I was pleased that we signed the first equivalency agreement with Canada, an important first step in opening up new markets for our producers. Research is also critical. For far too long, organic farmers have worked to develop their own solutions. But USDA has a vast research enterprise and should be and will be working on issues important to organic farmers. Let me give you an example. The Sustainable Agricultural Research and Education Program, a jewel among our research programs, is one of four regional host institutions here at the University of Vermont, and it's critical for small-scale sustainable farms. In the FY11 budget, we're proposing a 56% increase in that budget, and our hope is that those resources will be used to provide us additional research assistance for local producers and for organic and sustainable farming operations. This would be on top of the $20 million that the Farm Bill has provided for organic research. And in our in-house analysis team at the National Agricultural Statistics Service and in our Economic Research Service, we're instructing them to continue to research and report on the state and the health of the organic industry. Now, I realize that I'm the Secretary of Agriculture, which obviously involves a wide variety of agricultural production activities. But I'm here today for a very personal reason. I never thought that I'd be the Secretary of Agriculture. My parents never thought I'd be the Secretary of Agriculture. I grew up in a city. The closest I got to agriculture was my father's tomato plants. And frankly, he wouldn't allow me to get very close. But I moved to Iowa in 1975, and I started practicing law in a small town. And in that small town, I had the privilege to represent farmers. The first thing I learned about farmers is it's a difficult life, financially. A lot of risk, and oftentimes not a great deal of reward. I learned that by doing tax returns for farmers. The way it worked in my office, farmers would come in with a grocery sack full of receipts and numbers, and papers and calendars with numbers on it. They'd pile them on my desk. They'd tell me to figure out their income tax. They'd ask me to make sure they didn't pay a penny more than they had to, and they didn't want me to charge more than $25. After doing hundreds of those tax returns, I then had the privilege and the difficult challenge of representing farmers who were losing their farms during the farm crisis in my home state in the 1980s. I had an opportunity to visit with people in their homes. I had a chance to talk to them about why this was important to them, to avoid foreclosure. It wasn't a paycheck, it wasn't the bottom line, it wasn't making a living. It was about a value system. A value system that was important. I share with you the story of one farmer who will never leave my heart and my mind. He came in one day, he was a big fellow, a hog operation. He was telling me about his operation, and I realized as he was close to tears that this was something more than just a traditional foreclosure, help me save my farm conversation. And he looked at me and I said to him, you know, there's got to be more to your story than you're telling me. He said, well, I'm a father of 7 sons. Proud of all. First 6 sons went off and became engineers and doctors and lawyers. And boy, they're just doing great. They left the farm. The 7th son, the youngest son, decided to stay on the farm. He wanted to be a farmer. And I was so proud. Well, what we did was to accommodate 2 families as we, during the high-priced land value deals of the 70s, we bought more land. We expanded our operation. And now we're in the financial pickle we're in. My son felt responsible for that, the client told me. And he said he felt so responsible and so bad about what he had done to his father that he took his own life. From that moment on, I decided that everything I would do in any opportunity I had as a lawyer, and then ultimately as a public servant, as a mayor, as a small town state legislative